Well, here we are back at SEMA this year with Ron Olson from ProSpot, and he has new stuff for us to see. No surprise, Ron, you always have something new and cool for us. So let's see what we have this year. I notice we have a new Smart MIG. It's got all these tentacles coming off of it, so let's talk about what it does.
Yeah, exactly. We're very excited about that with a lot of aluminum now coming into the repair process with the new vehicles coming out in aluminum, and also the silicon bronze welding as well. This MIG welder here have actually 3 MIG spools in the machine, built into the machine. So we have on one side aluminum and silicon bronze already built in, and then on the other side we have a steel roll. So the operator don't have to switch the torches or put the spools in or anything like that. All he does is grab the torch, and when he does, he clicks the trigger once, and the software would automatically change to the settings for that particular application.
Show me what you mean whenever you touch a button and the system sets itself. Just give me an example of that.
Yeah, for example here, if we take the aluminum torch here, that's already connected. As soon as I push the button here, you can see it switches over now to the pulse. Now it's a pulse application. Okay. With aluminum, we use a pulse technology for pulsing the current out.
Okay, let's go ahead and switch it to something else real quick and see how that works.
And then if you take the silicon bronze, the same thing here. Now, if I click the button here, it switches over. And it's not only switching the weld parameters, it's also switching the gases. As you can see, we have 2 bottles of gas, argon and mixed 75-25. So there's solenoids in here. It knows, so what we do when we click it, it automatically switches to the correct gas as well.
So let me ask you this, why do we need all these options in the body shop today? I mean, it seemed like the MIG welders were fine for years, now we have all this. This is fancy stuff or what?
Correct, yeah, it's a lot of changes in the steels. That's what really makes it happen, and the car manufacturers trying to build safer cars for us, they're using harder steels, the ultra high strength steels.
And with that comes along a thicker or thinner steel, correct?
It's a thinner steel, but it's much harder.
Creates some welding issues.
Yes.
Let's talk about the aluminum a little bit.
The aluminum obviously has been on the horizon for a long time, but I think now with the Ford F-150 hitting the street next year, built all in aluminum except for the frame.
Right.
That's gonna be some serious issues and opportunities, obviously, but there will also be more aluminum dent pulling, aluminum MIG welding required. So
basically before, where it was on higher dollar cars, now we're seeing it come down to the mainstream. The F-150 is the most sold vehicle in the United States, correct?
Correct.
And how many of those are going to be rolling off the assembly line pretty soon?
Probably over 1,000 a day, I would say.
And I guarantee you, we're going to be running them into stuff and need to be fixing them and welding them, correct?
Yes, that's true. And we know that the other manufacturers are coming out with more aluminum as well. So I think the technician's going to have to get used to repairing a lot more aluminum. And
well, this system seems one button, fairly simple now. Let's talk about the silicon bronze and why that is a big factor now.
Exactly. Well, that's the simple thing with the silicon bronze is that the melting point is much lower than steel, and which will be less warpage, less heat into the weld. So some car manufacturers now recommend silicon bronze as a plug weld on certain areas. For example, they did 2 8mm holes and plug weld them with silicon bronze to keep the temperature down on these very
so you don't get the warpage in the metal, correct?
Correct.
Now you showed me a really nice demo piece you had, and where you welded it, stitch welded it basically the whole way across the back.
Yes.
And in the front you had it all painted and fixed up, and you could see that the weld went clear across the back, but no warpage to the steel at all.
Right.
How important is that in today's cars?
Well, it's very important, and the key with that weld piece, the display, is to show that we could do it on very thin metals too. In the past, we could always MIG weld in silicon bronze on thicker metals, but here, with a 0.8mm thickness, we could still get a bead on there without warping the panels much. So it's a good eye opener to see how we can apply that bead without really destroying the metals.
Right. So is this on the market right now?
Yes.
Okay. So how would our viewers find out more about your system?
Well, obviously, go to our website, prospot.com, and this particular MIG here is the Smart MIG SP5. And there was a couple of things I didn't show you with this. Now we see we'll have 3 torches in one. Right. Don't have to switch it, but it also has 2 more things with it. It comes also with a,
This is one of those, but wait, there's more, right?
yeah, wait, there's more. We actually have a TIG welder that is also available to plug right in here, and it will also automatically switch over. So if someone wants to do TIG welding, it's available there, and as well as a stick welding. You know, the good old stick?
Right,
So
who does that? But
that you can do as well with it. I don't say that we're going to do it in the body shop, but there's maybe some application. But the TIG is also something that comes very handy. And it's automatically in here. The software is there, and it's just...
so this
comes with the
probably
machine.
eliminates all the different welders you have in the shop for this one.
Yes.
Wow,
Five welders in one.
Looks like a great tool.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we're
your
very
time
excited.
today.
Yeah.
Glad to see it. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
If you want to find out more about this, check out Ron's site.